I did like her. As a senior master's, that was basically my like I did not do great. But yeah, well, the thing is, just I had gone to this informational meeting or something, like I learned about like what I was going to do next. I think my time was over. I also played club soccer in college, so I like was always doing that stuff. So
I always go with my friends who like,
yeah, we went to
yeah, like
you
when
know
you're
what's so
delaying
funny?
and stuff
We're
like
just
that,
looking
like
at
you have to
pictures
get
from
a
something
coaster
from
book.
college, and we went to
Like
the
we're all pretty good.
you know the concert that was in the National Mall for Veterans Day of freshman year. It was like, no, no, it was for Veterans Day. Yeah, and it was like Bruce. I think Bruce Springsteen was there. Rihanna, Metallica. Like it was the most bizarre concert. And
I mean, my buddies who I always go
we
find
skipped
it,
class.
who were like
Yeah.
in high school, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
kids
went
too,
to
but I
we
like
went like we got there
again,
like
I'm
8
just a
a.m.
little bit
The
more
concert was just like
serious
8
about
a.m.
what it is.
Yeah.
It feels like going to a gym. It feels like so like unnecessary.
I
Like,
know.
it's necessary,
You know what I mean?
physical activity and like the general health, but like at the same time, it feels like I would feel like a real jerk if I was that sort of right.
Yeah. You think it's also like these narratives, you know, so I think they can figure out where they're not responsible enough to travel. You know, like and then so I think they're yeah. Thank you. Or like my other thing is you would pay cancel spring break, but then end the semester a week early, right?
Yeah, I think this winter was like a, you know, people got stuck inside and it got cold and like people are getting antsy about exercise and like any kind of activity. So I think we were like a month away from like it being more normal.
Mine are not sealed though, so they're super porous.
That is the thing, like I
You know,
signed
people,
for
people
January.
do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like activities like
Yeah,
pool,
and
running,
we didn't do it because that was
like
the whole
over a
time
month
we were
for
at
like
Christmas.
all
Yeah.
like 50 miles over a month or
They
whatever.
were so porous, and it wasn't supposed to be that way.
So we all did like
Bad water.
December.
Mixed with limestone or something.
We all got cold and everything.
Too hot for
And then
that.
we signed up for one in January. And it just happened. And I did that. And I was just like, so busy. I was like so
Is that all the bad things?
Kind of.
The bad things are for
Yeah, we waited for like the first batch and the second batch and the second batch.
So I need to be back.
That was the one thing that bothered me.
See, I never had the problem with it. You could like mix things. Mine, that never happened with mine.
Occasionally oil it.
Right. Right. Yeah, like I wonder how much I mix it if you did full milk.
We spilled all the stuff.
I love my cow. I haven't oiled them consistently enough, so it's like they're a little patchy. Like I probably need to oil it again one more time. But they're aging now, so they're all burning and darker. Well, I really scraped my own. I got my own fall. Yeah, I don't think maybe you left one.
High school is like such a weird
It doesn't
time.
sink in. It's just on the top. It just like makes it darker. So you like wipe it all off.
Oh, really? Oh, God. No way.
I think it must still be, it must be sitting in mine a little bit, because if you wipe it down with like a wet sponge, then it's a lighter gray. So that is after I choose it.
It was on the stage.
Stage?
Yep. Oh.
And what did you say?
Yeah. Mine's aging nicely.
I tried that. great. I was an engineering student, and I just
Yeah, that takes
didn't
me
like it.
that's
It
part of
was
our
just
time.
like not my cup of tea. So
Did you switch to journalism?
no, I switched to psychology, and then and which is like the polar opposite of engineering, and and then started doing journalism at the radio station
I see.
at my university, and started doing journalism. By that time, it was just too late to switch again. So like,
Oh,
I just started psychology degree, and then bachelor of science. So like, I think one of the journalists. I don't know. He told me one or two days ago, like, hey, I want to be a journalist. Like, I'm like doing all this stuff, like got to work there, like I did all these internships, and like technically, you have to do this. It's really tough.
okay, well, that's good that that helps.
I totally advocate the idea of having like a kind of degree when you're like in research. It's nice to be like an expert, you know what I mean? And
Literally, we went to AU, and that was a requirement of like the School of Communications, where you have to like do majors or a minor.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
You have to study something else.
That's great.
Like, no matter what.
Good.
Yeah.
So I have an international studies minor that I will never use, but
No, but I mean,
Well,
at
I
least
teach
it-
Spanish
Sounds
now.
so
because of
impressive.
it.
There you go.
You use it all the time, man.
I mean, I had learned
sorry, I
Spanish.
didn't interrupt you.
It's funny.
No, I mean, having it in a room full of people. Yeah, quiet room full of people.
My journalism
Oh, I might.
one language in my strategic communication.
Oh, really? Yeah, so I mean, I studied abroad, like, do you study abroad?
Yeah. I went to Prague.
Nice.
Oh, that was the film one.
Yeah,
That was the
it
film
was like
program.
a film one. We had to like
Party,
a short
party
fiction.
capital of the world.
No
A short
way.
film. Yeah, it was really fun. So I like got
Awesome.
got a medium format camera there.
Really?
The film photography.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
And we'll never use that film for anything, but it was kind of neat.
Right, yeah. No, I mean, hey.
So you do know the word for Cadelco, right?
Yeah.
From 1969.
Thank you.
From 1969. In Prague. That's like one of the most amazing movies. And Prague is one of my favorite cities.
I know.
Yeah.
I miss it a lot.
I went there in I went there once in 94, and I did didn't want to leave.
Yep. Cheap.
Yeah, back then, yes. I don't know where it's still the case, but yeah, back then it's really, really, really cheap. So how did you stay there?
Just like 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 months.
One semester?
Pardon?
One semester, right?
Masters?
No, one semester, right?
Oh yes, there you go. Yeah, the fall my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, yeah, no, I know, because if they could, I'm not sure if it's easy to get the funnel.
Thank you.
Where is the 22?
I think outside, I think so. Maybe Russell. I'm not sure.
Okay, because they are public viewing for Wade.
Oh, then maybe outside Russell.
Social.
Here's Russell.
Yeah, it's gonna be built out of.
325.
Oh, okay, oh, okay. trouble with it.
Yeah, one day. Actually, I think the House Republicans are doing their summer, is it spring session? I don't know that
Where is
exactly.
it gonna be?
Well, they had a contract with the Greenbrier
Oh,
that they were supposed to do more than that one year they went. So I think eventually they have to go back there. I don't know that they're going this year, but
They can be swimming again?
I would hope not. That wasn't a design. But we could get our little Airbnb again.
Yeah, it would be nice to go there again. Enjoy the trip.
It was just a bit of a drive, but other than that, it was nice.
It's fine, I mean, West Virginia is not that far. Totally doable.
I like when they go to like Philly or Baltimore though. Like
Oh, so,
far to go out and things, yeah.
yeah.
But not that anyone's doing that right now, so I guess if they're gonna do one in the pandemic, not necessarily but
I always think West Virginia is very pretty, so I always want to go there.
Sorry, sir. Someone else. Sorry.
I know. I think the one with justice, like, how can you look at this?
You picked the right position.
What is it because
Yikes,
you're facing them, you
I'm
can go over there.
seriously ready to fall asleep.
I'm really tired.
Move the camera around.
Let's hurry up.
TV camera.
What
I'll
else?
take like TV camera level that I'm sitting down here. Running late.
I mean, always.
Trouble.
Yeah, I
Podium.
mean, up against the wall
So
here.
like,
Yes.
Like cable.
matching the horizontal cable.
And like the clips can't wake you up anymore because no one's using clips anymore.
Wait,
It used to be so
striking one,
wild.
I think the striking one is the
I'd
flat
start
strip.
snoring or something.
You can see that the eyes are rolled down.
Did you see somebody sent a picture? Somebody, like one of the senators, or I don't know, a congressperson, fell asleep on the Zoom from during one of the hearings. I was like, well, that's embarrassing.
Such a mess.
But like not just the sleep, but like head all the way back. Going
Well,
up.
that's funny how
The one where you would put on
exciting
there
some
about
of those.
50.
I mean, I
Calls on
have almost fallen asleep in my ear, yeah.
And they cycle really fast.
Is that one of those proposal ones or?
Flashpoint. Flashpoint. It's the Adorama imprint of Godox. Godox is like a Chinese company. They make smaller, cheaper stuff. Pretty good stuff.
Well, they did have the, fast recording time, that's good.
Yeah, the battery
choose like a, in some radio in an airport, like you're gonna see the power radio.
I haven't seen an email yet. It doesn't even have that. Sometimes people don't send it. That one has. Yep, I got that one.
Okay, everyone, 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which way are you going, Charlie?
Am I going zigzag? Do you want us to just like swap? To the right.
Well, those guys gotta push it down.
Yeah, I don't know how they
Yeah, you just put them there and you come out.
Okay. That's fine.
Very nice. I think this is the first time we have a majority of women here. That's good. We have 50-50.
50-50. It's a majority.
It's a majority. Touche. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So we just finished, our caucus just finished a really fine virtual discussion with President Biden, and Senate Democrats are committed to passing the American Rescue Plan to crush the virus, recover our economy, and deliver help to Americans who need it the most. President Biden made his pitch today to our entire caucus, and he said we need to pass this bill and pass it soon. That's what the American people sent us here to do, and we have to get America the help it needs. We've had the worst health care crisis in a century, the worst economic crisis in 75 years, and we need to deliver. We're on track to send the American Rescue Plan to the President's desk before the expiration of the enhanced unemployment benefit, which occurs on March 14th. We could take it up as soon as tomorrow. I expect a hearty debate. I expect some late nights on the floor. But American people are overwhelmingly in support of this legislation. A majority of Democrats, independents, and in many polls, Republicans support this bill. It seems the only group that doesn't support this bill are Senate Republicans and House Republicans. But the American people, including Republicans, show very strong support for this bill. And they know, and the reason is simple. We have to crush the virus. We have to get our economy back on track. We have to get Americans back to work. And we all know how the bill delivers. $1,400 in additional direct payments to struggling Americans. That's the $2,000 check that we promised, the $600 from before and the $1,400 now. It'll help our schools reopen as safely and quickly as possible. It'll help small businesses get roaring back. It'll keep teachers and firefighters and bus drivers who work for governments to continue to work. It continues the assistance for the jobless and the hungry. And it funds in a far more robust way than President Trump even contemplated distribution of life-saving vaccines, the linchpin to overcoming and ending this pandemic. Every member of our caucus, I believe, has had input into the bill we will put on the floor. We are working in concert with the President and the House, and we all know that job number one is pass this bill. So we'll begin consideration of the American Rescue Plan as early as tomorrow, and we'll have the votes we need to pass the bill. Our message to the American people is very simple. Help is on the way. And now, Senator Durbin, in his green tie.
Thanks, Senator Schumer. Now that the House has done their part, we have to do ours, and we start this week. We're beginning the reconciliation ordeal, and many of you have witnessed it. It is, as Senator Schumer said, it means many long nights and many amendments that frankly don't go to the heart of the issue, but are attempts to divert us into some other political question. I think our caucus is focused as it should be. We know the American people are counting on us. We don't have a day to lose. We need to put that money into buying vaccines and distributing them as quickly as possible. There should be no questions asked about that. We've got to keep our word to the American people about the second half of that $2,000 payment. We've got to make sure that those who are unemployed don't find March 14th to be a disaster day, but a day of continuity so their families can continue to be fed. This is Joe Biden's initiation. It's his centerpiece of his administration. It's his demonstration to the American people that he heard them loud and clear as he was campaigning across America. We are going to come together, face the reality of this pandemic, and put it behind us. And I think Joe Biden is going to persevere and, with our help, succeed in charting a new day for America.
Senator Murray.
Thank you. The American Rescue Plan deals with the kinds of problems that I have heard nonstop from people in my home state of Washington from the start of this crisis, like, how am I going to pay my bills and keep a roof over my head? How am I supposed to go to work if I don't have childcare or my kids aren't safely in school? Why can't I get a test? When can I get a vaccine? So it's no surprise to me there is such strong support nationwide for the policies we are about to send to President Biden's desk. Families need direct relief. We are going to send it. Too many are still out of work. We're going to prevent expanded unemployment benefits from expiring on March 14th. We'll get help to get vaccines in arms faster, hire and train more public health workers, and ramp up testing capacity. We'll invest in programs to counter the disproportionate harm COVID-19 has caused, specifically to communities of color and tribes, and expand affordable insurance to families. We'll give schools much-needed resources to help students get back to classrooms for in-person learning safely and stabilize our struggling childcare sector, both of which are critical to helping women and working families get back to work. We'll support small businesses and help states keep teachers and firefighters and sanitation workers and others on the job. People support the American Rescue Plan because the American Rescue Plan supports people, workers, families, communities who know firsthand the loss and hardship of the last year. To those who are struggling, we have been listening, and we're going to tackle the public health care crisis and get our economy going again. To Republicans in Congress who insist help for workers and families, investments in safely reopening schools, speeding up vaccine distribution, and more are not necessary, who say we're somehow overstating a need. It is time to start listening to the economists and the mayors, to the governors, to the public health experts, people nationwide who want Congress to treat the COVID-19 crisis as seriously as they do. And then join us in doing what the American people have made absolutely clear they want done. Send the American Rescue Plan to President Biden's desk so families and communities can weather this storm and we can continue the work ahead to bring back our economy in a way that is stronger and fairer than ever.
It's hard to believe that it's March again, and for so many people across this country, communities, small businesses, moms and dads and kids, it feels like last March never ended. People need help now simply to survive, and we understand that. That's what the American Rescue Plan is all about. And we know that our economy can't be healthy until our people are healthy. That's just the bottom line. And so that's why we feel such a sense of urgency to get the vaccines into people's arms and to do what is necessary to help people survive and be able to make sure our children can get back into classrooms safely. We know that the American Rescue Plan tackles these urgent public health needs, first and foremost, providing billions in funding to get vaccines in people's arms, to provide supplies and testing and staffing to stop the spread of COVID-19. It'll lower or eliminate health insurance premiums for millions of Americans right now. And it tackles some of the systemic health inequities that underserved communities and communities of colors have faced for generations. And just as importantly, this is focusing on behavioral health. People are suffering right now, both in body and in mind. And we need to make sure that we are addressing health care above the neck as well as health care below the neck. And that's what is in this bill. We also have needed support for hard-hit rural communities to address what is happening, to keep our rural hospitals open and telehealth care available. And we also, in this bill, are addressing pandemic-related disruptions to our food supply chain, to get help for our farmers to be able to get food to hungry families, and to offer assistance to farmers of color who have faced discrimination for too long. We're a year into the pandemic, and American families and communities need to know that someone continues to have their back. That's what this is all about, and we're here today to tell them that help is on the way.
Thank you, Debbie. Yes.
Schumer, you have said that the Senate is not going to be a legislative graveyard for House bills like it was last Congress. Can you talk about the House starting to send a ton of bills over Equality Act, HR 1 this week, the policing bill, and a ton of bills coming up after that? What your strategy and timing is on these bills?
Yes, first, look, let me say this. I believe my caucus believes, excuse me, I'm supposed to keep the mask on when I talk to you all. I believe, and I believe my caucus believes, that we need big, bold action. And we're going to figure out the best way to get big, bold action on a whole lot of fronts. We're not going to be the legislative graveyard, very simply. McConnell refused to put bills on the floor. I'm putting bills on the floor. People are going to be forced to vote on them, yes or no, on a whole lot of very important and serious issues. Yes?
Are you open to lowering the $400 per week of cancer component benefits in House Tax Bill to $300 to get the support of moderate?
Look, I supported the $600. I think that put a lot of money into the economy, and it was very good. I know that this was brought up when the group yesterday met with Joe Biden, and they're discussing it. Yes. I called on her.
Thank you, Leader. Do you think New York Governor Andrew Cuomo should resign?
Look, the allegations that have been made by Ms. Rush and Ms. Boylan and Ms. Bennett are serious, very troubling. These women have to be listened to. I've always believed that sexual harassment is not acceptable, must not be tolerated. Now there's an investigation in the hands of a very, very capable person, the Attorney General of New York State. I supported it and called for it, and now she's doing it. I know the Attorney General will conduct a thorough investigation that will be totally, totally independent without any interference, outside interference, political or otherwise. You're next.
In 2017, when Senator Al Franken's allegations were made against him, you personally called for him to resign, and those necessarily weren't fully investigated before you called for the resignation. So what's the difference here? Is there a double standard?
Look, the bottom line is, just let me say, on this issue, I have a great deal of faith in the Attorney General's investigation.
So how surprised were you at these allegations, and how quickly does the investigation need to move?
I have faith in the Attorney General's investigation. I'll leave that to her.
Were you surprised?
Yes, yes.
To follow up on Lindsay's question, if Republicans block things like voting rights, immigration reform, this Quality Act, are you supportive of getting rid of the 60% public vote?
The bottom line is we're going to figure out, we're going to come together as a caucus and figure out the way to get the bold action that the American people demand. But we will put bills on the floor. That's the huge difference between McConnell and us. Last one.
On the COVID relief bill,
Yes.
sounds like you're open to changes to this bill when it comes to the floor.
Look, we want to get the biggest, strongest, boldest bill that can pass, and that's what we're working to do. Thank you, everybody.